I said that it felt like I was walking down something that was hidden and the animals were placed around something? Do you want to see what I'm talking about? Are you ready? The buildings were eventually absorbed by the San Diego Zoo. And this is coming straight from the San Diego History Center website. Absorbed by the zoo. Let's continue. Remember that in 1935, they shut the California Tower down, or the Museum of Us, and the public was no longer able to see inside. 2 years before that, buildings south of the El Prado were gone by 1933, besides two. So there was, in my opinion, without a doubt, a clear operation at this time to hide this park from the public, to rewrite its history and make it fit into their mainstream narrative. Because in 1923, they knocked down the Sacramento Valley building, 8 years after the exposition. This building was outdated? No. And we all know about the fire stories by now. And if you haven't, get ready. The fire stories are the nod to the hidden group that these buildings are from the old world. They were built by a previous civilization. A house fire does not burn down stone, and it doesn't burn down marble or brick. It simply doesn't get hot enough, and we have shown this. The Southern California County's building burned down in 1925, right in the middle of all of these other buildings getting knocked down. So they just randomly have a fire? Of course they do. After what we know about the fires, this is normal and acceptable? No, it's not acceptable. So they give us the fire story, and then at the exact same time, rip all these other buildings down. And then at the same time, they make one off limits for 80 years to the public. And we're just supposed to trust this story? We all understand that the hidden past is that an extremely advanced previous civilization constructed these buildings very easily. A civilization that we are not being told about. A civilization that had all of the technology that we have today and much more. They had phones, TVs, planes, trains, artificial intelligence, and much more. All of these things are being given back to us since 1776, in my opinion. If you're interested in learning more about that, we have episode 10 and 38 that talk all about this. We are being lied to about these narratives with fake characters. Fake construction companies that build two massive buildings and then never build anything ever again. With zero training, of course, changing buildings' names to attempt to trip us up in the research, and that's not going to work. They repeat names with the AI-generated stories, and on and on. So, 1933, 10 years after they tore down the Sacramento Valley building, 8 years after the fire story, they tear down two more buildings at Balboa Park, the San Joaquin Valley and the Karen Tulare County's building. So here we are given a construction photo of the Varied Industries building, which shows us the incredible construction process. Just look at those workers go. Look at all of the equipment, the dedication, never taking breaks, working by candlelight, no distractions. It shows us all of the men. It shows us, it shows us a building that's done. This thing is done. This is a completion photo. But according to the city of San Diego, this is a construction photo. I mean, this is honestly equivalent to me going into the road right now and turning around and taking a picture of my house and telling everybody that it's a construction photo. This is not a construction photo. Where is the construction? And it gets even weirder when we look at the narrative, where in the beginning of its narrative, they named it the Agriculture and Horticulture Building. And then they switched it a year after the exhibition in 1916, which is normal. No. They switch it to the Foreign and Domestic Industries Building because it's a repurposed building. It's repurposed from the old world. Because the previous civilization did not build this building to have it changed purposes over and over. They built it for a reason, and it was not to be a foreign and domestic industries building. This is the same thing where the USA is the land of the free. Yeah, they got a lot of free buildings that were located on their land in 1776. So it's getting a lot clearer now. And of course, the next sentence proves what we're saying here. that all of these buildings located in Balboa Park were found and repurposed. All of the names were switched from the original name over and over, which I believe is the case with all old world buildings. None of them were originally a bank. They weren't post offices. They weren't Capitol buildings. This is a worldwide operation, and these stories are just that. They're stories. When the name of this building has changed many times since it was found, naming it the County Fair Building, the Food and Beverage Building, and on and on. And of course, this was just your average food and beverage building over 100 years ago, where we are told that the facade looked like the entrance to a church, and this church look was reinforced because it had the appearance of a bishop in a medallion above the central door, and a cross in the starburst medallion. Okay, so this place was obviously incredible, and its original purpose is much different than what it's used for today, just like all of these other buildings. So in 1970 to 1971, they destroyed this building in a reconstruction project. And of course, the new one did not replicate the original. Now remember, World War I was in 1914. This exposition was in 1915. People were not concentrating on the narrative and all of its lies. And even if they were, how were they going to tell thousands of people about it? It just wasn't possible. So what happened to this building? Well, the people of San Diego were at a crossroads. They were in a bind with what to do with such a pathetic, temporary building, because we're always told that these buildings were just temporary, right? But they last forever if they just left them alone. With incredible architecture. What would they possibly use it for? Well, 1 year after the exposition in 1916, they built this building, and now what? The military needed the space, so the building got to stick around, where they used it as a barracks and a post office. And what do you know? This building was also damaged. The money was, of course, not enough to fix it, so it continued to deteriorate. I wonder what a lot of these wars are actually used for. They wouldn't be an operation to destroy the old world, would they? Remember when we were told that they stopped allowing the public into the California Tower in 1935? Well, the mainstream history just can't put their finger on why the Farm Bureau discontinued the use of Balboa Park for its county fair in 1931, just 4 years before the public was no longer allowed to go inside these buildings. Well, I would say that we know exactly why they didn't want to hold any county fairs here anymore at Balboa Park. And this wouldn't be an operation without a second exposition at the exact same location of Balboa Park. This one being held at the exact same year of 1935. It's incredible. Clearly they have found something major that went against their narrative, and they needed to run it back a second time. So in 1914, we get World War I. 1 year later, 1915, we get Balboa Park Exposition number 1. 1935, we get Balboa Park Exposition number 2. 1 year later, 1936, we get World War II, where they now have yet another name for this building, Building 212, used now by Red Cross, while the Navy yet again modified the interior. Are you still on the fence? Well, there wouldn't be another... No way. This is so clear at this point. The San Diego Aerospace Museum moved into the building, briefly, in September 1961, before transferring its exhibits across the street to the Electric Building in 1963, where they stayed until a fire in 1978 destroyed the building. Now, I have a lot to share, and I think we have a solid understanding at this point that the narrative surrounding Balboa Park has consistencies with what we have seen across the world.
An inspiring story, the history of...
Watch for March of 2024, March, April, Easter time frame, Easter, Lamb, not just Kim Porter, it's so many other people. And by the way, in P. Diddy's case, the sodomy ritual, yes, the ritual that they use in order to conjure up energy, call it sexual magic, call it black magic, call it whatever you want, but they do that, okay? So never think that it's crazy and people don't do it. It goes all the way back to Egyptian chimes. It goes all the way back before Jesus. It goes all the way back. They do all kinds of energetic. It seems stupid to us that what's going to happen with P. Diddy over the next 4 years. It's a 4-year progression. So we're in almost 2024. So go to 2028 or thereabouts. What's going to happen to him is his vibration is moving this way and sideways, while the rest of the people are leveling up and to the opposite direction. So what she's showing me is that he will be forgotten about, which seems impossible because he's been all over the news like a crazy person and is very famous and very wealthy. Another thing that I'm being shown is that he doesn't own all his wealth. It's a weird thing to say. He's got allegedly $700 million, if not more. That's just that's going back into the mid-2000s when they guesstimated that. It's not his money I'm being shown. So when they tell you these people have that money, he cannot do what he wants with all that money. That's a trick. It's a trap. It doesn't exist. I'm being told it doesn't exist. That does not mean he doesn't have 13 homes, a bunch of nice ass clothes, cars, Lamborghinis, women, tricks, every equipment. He is given those things with part of the money, but he doesn't have control over it all. And they are siphoning it for him right now. I'm seeing it like a milkshake and there's a straw and his wealth is being sucked. So by him agreeing to pay Cassie off, the others are coming behind until there's a complete and utter takedown of P. Diddy and his 3 right-hand men, okay? 3. So there's going to be a takedown that comes in with that, and he's going to try to step away. They're not done. And here's another thing I'm being shown, okay? I don't know how to word this. This, to me, reminds me of like a binding spell in voodoo. And I don't know what I'm talking about with that, but his mouth is being sewn up. So when I see his face, the image I get is the mouth is being sewn up. So he is going to be unable to speak for some reason. I can't talk. I cannot speak for myself anymore. This to me sounds like a losing of faculties, a losing of thought, a losing of thinking. I cannot speak, but it's sewed up around his mouth. That's actually how I'm seeing it. They're going to stitch his mouth shut. Why? I ask why. This is how it works for me. So when something hits me, I get impressions and I just express those impressions. I could be right, I could be wrong, obviously. Nobody's 100% right. It's always worked this way for me. So when I ask him energetically, meaning in my head, however you want to word that, when I ask her why his mouth is being sewn up, it's because of his mentors and they don't want it coming out over here, even though some of them are outing themselves. These are old guys connected to old time, old style Motown. And she's showing me that he's being shut up from outing them or from speaking about them for some reason. So there's a hierarchy going on here and there's a total takedown of him. He is being sacrificed. So he may think he gets away with stuff. He may think it's cool he does what he does, but now he's the sacrificial lamb. And I do mean that. There's something that comes up with him in March, speaking of the lamb, during the Easter time frame, March, April, right in that time frame. That's why I said lamb. There's something else that's going to come up with him. We are not done. It is a complete takedown. And then you will see this man's energy. So his 3 close right-hand people, and I have no idea who they are. I don't know who he considers close. There might be people he's seen with in public and they might not actually.
My name's Ava. I'm a Scorpio.
No. What's your last name?
Ava Combs.
What's your other last name?
Ava Baroni.
Eva Baroni Combs? Yes, it's breaking news. Diddy adopted a white child. I want you to tell them the story about how I adopted you. But you still have beautiful parents that you're my child also. Please tell the story.
So, I was on the streets, and then Papa Combs decided that he would like to be a caring man. So then he saw me and decided to pick me up and said to come inside and play with his kids.
Yeah. That's like a little bit like borderline suspect. I don't want nobody. We want to get it clear. I adopted you like Madonna adopted kids, and everybody else adopted kids. Charlize Theron, everybody's ever adopted Sandra Bullock. I adopted you because I felt that you could, enjoy also having a black parent to take care of you and help you out. So, just clarify it because it's crazy out here online. So you play with the kids. And I got permission from your mother. And say all of that. It's crazy out here.
I met Jesse and Delilah when I was 6 months old.
6 months.
And then we basically sisters, all 4 of us. So. And then I always come over.
Yeah. And it's Ava Brioni Combs. Come on.
Didn't I call it again? Yet another one. It is now being reported by multiple sources that the CIA is indeed looking for a specific bloodline through Ancestry.com and all the other ancestries. Remember, I made the videos, multiple of them. Sure you do. You also remember I made the videos, didn't I? I said the government said that they would never allow a black person, Messiah, to rise and help unify the black people. What if it's somebody that's here, but that person don't know that they're here? And if say Nibiru comes or a solar flare, they're activated and they don't even know they activated. But these scientists and stuff know that person is going to be activated. And maybe it's 1, 2, 10, 20, we don't know. They're trying to stop that man from activating. They're going to come up, if they find out who it is or whatever, they're going to try to either kill him, bring charges on him, and then kill him. Kill him is the major thing they're going to want to do. Like Simon Toko. What if there's another person that's just like Simon Toko? And they know it. And they are going to do anything they can to stop him from uniting the true Jews. It is now confirmed. All of this stuff, the reason remember the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers bought all of the Ancestry.com stuff? And here it is, all of y'all people. Y'all steady doing it. You gonna mess around and be you they looking for. Did it to yourself.
Impoverished or in poverty, it's a mentality. You can get Section 8. My bitch about Section 8. What is this? Here's my bitch about Section 8. I'm trying to move around. I don't have a 650 credit score, but they accept Section 8. I'm willing to offer you money every month that I work for and don't take from taxpayers, but you won't take me. But you say on your thing, Section 8 accepted. And I'm talking in like just regular suburban neighborhoods.
Shit, we can't even get to Section 8.
Why?
Listen.
Every single border jumper, border person from China, Afghanistan, wherever the hell they're coming from, because it ain't Mexico now. Wherever they're being dropped off, and bozo
All these fucking apartments, and they fill with Mexicans and Africans.
The government has told these homeowners with ADUs, here you are. You have an ADU. There's some kind of, at least in California, okay? There's some kind of thing where you can't sell your house with your ADU for like 5 years. So they've got guaranteed cash coming from Section 8 illegals, and I mean, you don't know where they're coming from, and that's been a proven thing, okay? You don't know where they're, of course the chef was murdered. I'm going to get into that in a second. But you've got them in the Section 8. So am I supposed to understand that these realtors, and I've had it said, I've had them say, can you do Section 8? I'm like, no, I'd rather die. No, I can't. I don't need it. I'm not going to take it. If you need it, that's one thing. but I'm not going to take it. So too many
Nigga, they're not giving it to nobody.
And don't take responsibility for
they're not giving it to nobody. I'm gonna fuck these kids up, bro.
But here's who really doesn't have a right to it. The government people. How is Nancy Pelosi a billionaire? Why like that? And then he talked about the bus issue, and he wrote an article about it, and the article was scrubbed, and they made him marry Haley Bieber, or he loved Haley Bieber. I don't. He did say that. That is what he said. Al Gore got caught
This
at
the part.
the airport in 2000 or 2001 with a briefcase full of blood vials. We now know that that's adrenochrome. But he got caught at the airport with that, just so you know. Okay? He got caught at the airport. I heard it on the news. I'm that old that I watched the news. It's nowhere to be found. They call it false. They call it this, that. It wasn't false. Well, the news said it, so it could be false. But that's what they do. They have areas, demons are a distraction for something political. We got Obama right there. Then we got the bridge. Then we got the other people in politics. And when it leaks, and it will, it's going to leak before the election. And here's what's going to happen, in my opinion. I feel they're going to leak this political stuff about some people. And once they leak it about some people, it's going to come back like a boomerang and out other people. So none of them are safe. That's why J-Lo's trying like hell. J-Lo's like 53 and just like, look at me. I'm naked and walking down the street. Love me. And no one loves her. No one loves her. Or in poverty, it's a mentality. You can get Section 8. My bitch about Section 8. What is this? Here's my bitch about Section 8. I'm trying to move around. I don't have a 650 credit score, but they accept Section 8. I'm willing to offer you money every month that I work for and don't take from taxpayers, but you won't take me. But you say on your thing, Section 8 accepted. And I'm talking in like just regular suburban neighborhoods.
Shit, we can't even get to Section 8.
Why?
Listen.
Every single border jumper, border person from China, Afghanistan, wherever the hell they're coming from, because it ain't Mexico now. Wherever they're being dropped off, and bozo
All these fucking apartments, and they filled with Mexicans and Africans.
The government has told these homeowners with ADUs, here you are. You have an ADU. There's some kind of, at least in California, okay? There's some kind of thing where you can't sell your house with your ADU for like 5 years. So they've got guaranteed cash coming from Section 8 illegals. And I mean, you don't know where they're coming from, and that's been a proven thing, okay? You don't know where they're, of course the chef was murdered. I'm going to get into that in a second. But you've got them in the Section 8. So am I supposed to understand that these realtors, and I've had it said, I've had them say, can you do Section 8? And I'm like, no, I'd rather die. No, I can't. I don't need it. I'm not going to take it. If you need it, that's one thing, but I'm not going to take it. So too many
Nigga, they're not giving it to nobody.
And don't take responsibility for
they're not giving it to nobody. I'm gonna fuck these kids up, bro.
But here's who really doesn't have a right to it. The government people. How is Nancy Pelosi a billionaire?
I just had a question. I'm just trying to tell all these young cats out there trying to come up, you know, like, where do you think they gotta go to? From your point of view, you know what I'm saying? What is the best advice you could give them? Because I be telling them, like, my best advice is they gotta do it a whole new way, a different way, like they from another planet. But coming from you, coming from the man of men right now, tell them something good.
I mean, first of all, you want to stay away from these diddy popping motherfuckers. Motherfuckers dancing all on the motherfucking stage and shit. They want your ass. You call them astronauts. So be afraid. Be very afraid.
You really ain't built for the game.
Or something.
Something like that.
Don't be trying to be famous or you gonna run into a motherfucker like that.
It's getting closer.
What is?
Ship.
Oh, yeah. She's a beaut. Looks like an oil tanker. Must be a port around here. I read this piece in the Atlantic that says New York has one of the largest natural harbors on the planet.
You okay, Rose?
I think that ship is heading towards us.
What was that, sweetie? Clay?
Hmm?
Clay.
Yeah. Wow. It's getting close, huh?
I think that's a problem.
Nah, come on. It's gotta stop. It's got to. Right?
Check did not clear the bank, and so we sent the truck out to pick up the container.
I rolled out there and took the box up and started pulling it up. And it was so heavy, it just it broke the winch.
And we couldn't get it off the trailer, so we had to leave it on the trailer because it was too heavy. So I was asked by Nick to have a crew go down and unload the container at the other yard.
I got a radio call that from Ron Gillette, the foreman. They said the men were throwing up and there was something really wrong.
One of them fell down and hit me right in front of my feet. And it was opened up, and there it was.
And when I came to work the following day, I saw it myself. I couldn't believe it. And it's just, just little bitty babies, just all torn pieces. Their heads chopped off, arms, legs, it's just, really just, it makes you want to cry when you see something like that.
Starting at the very front of this container, it was just wall clear to the ceiling and clear to the sides, filled with them.
I really don't want to witness it again. Not what I saw.
Well, as the supervisor for the County of Los Angeles, we found out through the media that 17,000 infants had been stored in a container.
Sure. The f was on the boat, bro?
They was taking it out of here. That's what they was doing.
They have a boat out of here
with it.
Yeah, whatever it was, they almost got out of here with it. All kinds of shit in the fucking water.
They forced Diddy's jet to land, right?
Did they?
The only reason why they forced the jet to land because he's registered to be on the jet, right? Now watch this. When they landed the jet, the nigga wasn't there. He's making a act. Look, I'm gonna send you this. Check the text. Look, they forced the jet to land. When they landed the jet, he was not on there. The only reason why they're gonna force that jet to land is if he's registered on the motherfucking jet.
Yeah, so he must have been on the manifest.
Yeah, of course, but that's intentional.
Wait.
Now, Diddy's kids is in handcuffs. Diddy ain't pulled up on none of the cribs, ain't said nothing, and the nigga had himself on the jet to throw the feds off to make them think he was headed one way. That nigga headed another.
Nah, it's no way Diddy gonna be trying to run. Like, Diddy got too much.
They already forced the jet. Look at your text. They forced the jet to land. He wasn't on the jet. Like I know, when you book the jets, you got to turn in the names of the people that's going to be on the jet. Everybody got to be accounted for. So when they seen that jet moving, his name was registered on that jet. They forced the jet to land. Nobody's on the jet. He wasn't on the jet. Just some women.
Yeah, but whack. You know which one of the women was on the jet?
I don't know. I know he was. Fuck, it don't matter.
Hold on. Young Miami best friend was on the jet.
Yeah, listen, doesn't matter. Right? They're not exclusive. You keep trying to run a Young Miami narrative. Young Miami don't give a fuck.
That's his girl right now, and they investigating for shit to do with girls.
Listen, is she underage?
Nah, I ain't say she ain't complained yet.
I mean, well, at the end of the day, she ain't underage. What difference do it make? If he fucking her, he fucking her. If he not, he not.
Whack, we gonna have to get the paperwork. Her name might be in the...
You're listening to The Real.
Bruh, it's always something. There's always something over here. Down there too. All the way down there. Shout. Look at that blind person. I'm sorry. I did not mean it like that, bro.
Puffy and Cassie and
okay.
Then maybe I would be jealous.
Messiah.
And there are other psychics that's coming to my comment section, and they're saying that they saw that something off about her as well. So it ain't about no psychics. Then I got people saying just because you don't believe in psychics, I didn't say that. I said some people I do believe have gifts. So for me to even let that come out my mouth, let you know that I believe some psychics, but I don't believe them all, because I do believe that some of them are fake, and she's one of them. And I do believe that the industry is behind her. Okay, y'all? That's why she knows certain things that's going on with Puffy and Cassie and Jay-Z and all of them, because she's tied to the industry. Okay, y'all? That's why she knows what she knows. Okay? So stop coming to me with the BS, the people that call themselves, oh, you sound like you jealous. No, you sound like a fool. Okay? Let's keep going. Let's keep going, y'all. Let me blow this up just a little bit more so y'all can see it. See what I'm talking about? Look at that, look at that. When somebody offers up a little one, that's thumbs up, y'all. Okay? Noon and 1 p.m. in the news report comes to 101. Okay, y'all? Ain't nobody jealous. Ain't nobody nothing. I'm just trying to tell y'all what's going on. Okay, y'all? July 29th, 2020 comes to 83. Okay? 223 twice. Ain't nobody gotta lie. Ain't nobody gotta make up anything. It is what it is. This is what the numbers are saying, and not me. Okay, y'all? Now, let's talk about this infinity. I really like
Israel and this is who the so-called African American is and all that. Y'all don't fall for that bullshit. All right? Let me tell you something about Putin. Vladimir Putin is an Arcturian. Why do you think he and Trump get along together so much? Because Trump is an Arcturian as well. All right? They are not for the betterness of our species. All right? Believe me, as much as Putin knows that he's on our land, on ancient land, he is not moving.
And that's all we want back.
Going nowhere. So y'all don't fall for that bullshit about some children of Israel. All right? We're Atlanteans. We have always been Atlanteans. Have you ever heard Dan Calloway say anything about children of Israel? Hell no, you never will hear him talk about children of Israel. All right? We're Atlanteans. He had just recently talked about how we are Atlanteans and this land is Atlantis. All right? Just like what myself and other brothers have always been saying. Don't fall for this bullshit. Brothers and sisters who run into that Children of Israel cult, all right, they jumping all on top of it because they don't want to know better, all right. They don't want to know better, all right. So I'm just sending this message to y'all. Don't fall for this garbage they putting out here.
And start rushing the National Guard. Basically, it's an invasion. That's basically a fucking invasion. What they expect? They gonna force us? They gonna force America to feed them and house them? Like, nigga, you just entitled to everything over here in America? Nigga, no, you not. But this is being funded, though, by America, allegedly, through back channels and NGOs. So these people are promised they're going to get taken care of and all this and that type of stuff. So, hell yeah, they pissed when they get to the border. And the National Guard is there with guns like, I don't know what you're talking about. They like, nigga, we got a letter from Biden.
I'm fucking dead.
Biden said, we gonna get $10,000, some hotel rooms, a couple of bitches.
I'm fucking dead.
He said right here, in the fine print right there, nigga, I get 2 bitches every month. That ain't right? Oh. That's the dude. Maybe my English.
City.
It's like 2 bitches. Like, no. Who put out a video because all this bad publicity is coming out about. I told you about the dude who had a baby who said all you need to do to get some money is to get to America and have a baby, and you get paid. It's a gold mine, right? Yo, Roger Ragland, thank you, brother.
It's a gold mine, child.
To the teaching of Taj Tariq Bey. Yes, what's up, Taj? Shout out to Taj. So, appreciate you though, brother. But so that dude who had the baby, who was doing the video and said, getting into America is a gold mine if you have one of these little niggas right here.
I'm fucking.
You on Easy Street, good. They found his they saw the video and sent CPS in America. So they sent the authorities, they sent finally police to the nigga house. He got deported and they took the baby. The CPS, Child Protective Services, took the baby from that nigga. So at least they trying to do some shit. But there's another video.